How are you all, you lovely lot? It's a fabulous spring Monday here in Nottingham, UK, and I'm just by the pond. My last video, I think it was vlog 66 or 67, took the pond balls off, took everything off to do with winter almost, give the pond a good hoover out, and I'm just at the point now where I'm titivating the pond. I've cleaned the filters out. Things are looking great, but of course once the weather gets a little bit warmer, you tend to find you start noticing a few things. One of the main things that you'll probably start noticing, and I don't know whether it's because you are looking or you're around the pond more because the covers are off, but I've got a couple of fish all of a sudden flashing. Now that might be because I've been putting fresh water in, changes of temperature, pH, could be a number of reasons. So that means it's that time of year that you've done your spring clean. Chances are water temperatures are now, I've changed the batteries on my Inkbird wireless thermometer. Just on that note, the minimum temperature that I've experienced was 4 degrees, and that was in February. That was the lowest temperature, and it's for a couple of weeks. But I'm averaging in this pond, I would say over winter, about 7 degrees C. So that's not bad, I don't think. So anyway, the big chagor that I got when I purchased the grow on tank and everything that I've got in my other vlog videos, it's a quite a size. It's got sort of grey patches on it coming, and that one was the first one to start flashing. So I put bets on Fluke, because it's that time of year when they're always about pests, but there's a difference between a temperature below a temperature and the sort of static just ticking along. But then when there's a rising temperature, there's a bit of an explosion, I would imagine, of eggs and babies and things like that, reproduction. So something's changed. Well, a lot of things have changed. The pond balls have come off. There's more light to the pond. The temperature's 13.9 now because I had a bit of sun this weekend. It's been glorious in the UK. So the fish are more active. I've been feeding them a little bit more. No high protein, anything like that. Just some winter food leftovers that I've got left. And I'm about done. That's it left before I get back onto my normal stuff. So on that note, what I'll do, I'll spin you around, have a look at the fish. And there they are. I've just put the power back onto my outside light. It's here and it's underneath here, the switches. So I put the power back on, and that's put power back onto the UV. The UV has been off all weekend, and it's only a low, it's probably borderline whether it's big enough for this pond, but as many know, that plant filter normally keeps my pond clear. But anyway, if you look at my previous videos, you will notice that I did hook up a UV last year. So I put that on. There's the jag. As you can see, it's quite a decent size. You can see the grey patches. We might see a flash. Let me pan out a bit. You can actually hand feed that one. It does hand feed. In fact, what I'm going to do is just, that's all I've got of the winter stuff now. A couple of fish I'm going to get out. I've got a bowl ready. So the smaller ones. So this Coda, that one there, that's a Coda Goshki. This one. I bought 5 Coda, and they're all jingering. So there's that one, a Chiba, there's that one, the two that are together there. I'm going to get those 2 out and put them in my small grow on, and that will keep the small grow on ticking over. And it's about 20 degrees C in the pond indoors, so hopefully that will get them growing this year. So I'm going to There it is, that one there. So I'm going to get that one out and get that one out and put them in there. And then I might also get the shag out and use that as the victim to take a scrape. And I'm expecting to find Fluke. Fluke's probably one of the most common pests. The reason this one's coming out as well, it's got a side mark from winter, so if I can have a look at that and give that a look. And I was tempted also to take this, where is it? Not that Tancho. There's the one, it's swimming off now. It's got a bit of a red mark on its side, it's looking a bit nasty, so I might get that one in there. This one coming up to us now, the one with the orange, the shower. That one, there's a mark on its side, we might just see it as it pans out. No, it's on the other side. Looks nice and white there, don't it? I bought that from, here we go, there, look, on the top there. So I'll get that off, get that down there. So that might be the 3 that I put in there for this summer. And then I've got, and that's in the small grow, and then I've got ones in the bigger grow as well, which I might move out or move in. So that's what we're doing today. Also, in fact, let's have a, there we go. So there's the pond after the clean. Looking pretty decent. I've not got no high-tech filtration at all. As you can see, the garden's looking a lot better. Planted some iris, some nice bearded iris. There's a white one and a black one. So after the carnage the other day, things are looking a lot more settled. The lavender is perking up. It's looking a lot better now. Lovely. So things are looking back to something where I want to be. So if we pan around this side, planted some stuff in this border. There's the outdoor pond, there's a couple of them too, a couple of goldfish, there's the cosmos. We will just have a meander. Did my first beehive inspection yesterday. They're looking magnificent. This is looking pretty decent now. So if you look at my previous videos, you'll see me, this was all just nothing here. So if you want to have a look at, got any interest in looking at that, look at my B series. B series number 12. I just uploaded it yesterday. Oh yeah, looking nice part of the garden this now. So in the grow, it's so warm in here, it's like a tropical house. Move some plants around because they weren't getting much light. But that is raining them up there. Here's the grow. So what I've done in here, you won't notice at the moment. I put the trickle back up there because I put it back into the nexus, but I put it into the pond. So it's got to go in here and mix in and draw through. Now what I have had a bit of a fun with is getting my level right in here again, because what I did in previously, because the bottom drain is 2 inch, there's not enough flow of water from A, bottom drain, B, nexus inlet. The guy told me that, he says so he can't have the pump is on 15 watt, So I think that is on about a quarter of what it's doing. But it's a 10,000 pump. It's a 10,000 variable pump. Now that for this is just absolutely ridiculous. So even on that on a quarter, I'm still turning over. Even less than a quarter I could do. It's still turning over because this is 2,000 litres. You know, you can have it on a low wattage to turn over the amount, and it's doing okay. So yeah, I've got this overflow, so the main pond can't overflow, it trickles out there. But I've also, that's the main trickle there that's on the actual nexus. So what I have done, when I got it off the guy, he says, oh, put the water level a bit lower than that, because then that will counteract the inlet. Well, it does. I've moved it twice now. I had it about where it was now, and then I thought, right, I'm going to try and get some more water into this. But the only problem with that, if you don't have that set up right, if the pump ever fails, this is going to overflow. And I've been thinking about that, and last week it bothered me. So I altered it. I altered the height of this. So I dumped the water out of this, turned all the valves off so this was light, and I put this polycarbonate on, and that is just enough now to raise it enough to, if I was to turn this pump off, the water level would settle in this overflow part, not actually overflow. Because what was bothering me was, if the pump failed or had a power cut, if this is lower, that water line is a lot lower than the pond, this will just keep filling up, overflowing. There'll be K1 everywhere, and that's what bothered me. I'm not bothered about water because it's in here. It's not going to cause any damage. It's just going to keep overflowing down the side here and just wet the ground and evaporate. It's no problem. But I just can't be bothered with K1 overspilling into this, mixing in this, and then coming on and then over. And then if it was a power cut and the power come back on, you've got K1 mixed with your water. It's going to get drawn in potentially because it'll all be in here. That will get drawn in there, get into your pump, and then probably damage your pump, or spit out into, or get through the pump as well into your pond. And I bet someone, if you have, put a comment in, have you had that scenario? So anyway, I've put the water level in this back to where it was, so it should now be at a level. I tried it a couple of times last week and turned the pump off, so it should be at that level now that it should or shouldn't. The water level is just below here, so my water level is about there, because obviously that's overflowing a bit. Let me put that down a bit actually. So there, look, well, there's a bend is the opposite way into it on the other side, so it's actually like that. So there's my water level there. See? So you see the top of it there? So there's the inside, look, where the bend is sticking up. And I can put that down or above if I want to drop the level lower, but I'm pushing it, you see, as much as I can. So if that's there, like that, that technically is what you can see. That's what's in the pond. This is on the opposite side. So as you can see, you put that straight to the pond, look. So if I were to turn my pump off, the water level would be at the top of where my index finger is there. So this shouldn't overflow. So you should set that up like that, irrespective of water in here. So what I've had to do, I've had to manipulate and get that balance by closing this valve, which I've done. I think I've got it about perfect now. I put a mark on here before, look, where I had it in the past. But what I'll do is, if you ever notice on these slide valves, there is one of these brackets, and that's because when it's fully open, you can pop that in on that pipe, on the stem, and the valve can't be shut off. You know, in that by accident. So you just clip that on in there. So what I was going to do, I was going to cut this, see if it will hit that. But anyway, I'll just mark it with a pen. So if I can, whenever I turn the problem with it when you've got it set up like this, if you ever mess about with it, you've got to remember what you've got it set at. So 15 for me, 15, and then I'm going to mark that there. So if I turn that off, pump off, everything off, I know that I set it back up to the slide valve onto that mark, the pump back onto the setting that I've got his speed setting, and then this should balance itself out when you drain it and dump it and clean it again. So obviously when you dump it, you're dropping a lot of water off, then you have to fill it back up, so it can upset the balance. But you've got to try and find a balance where everything works. It takes quite a bit of tweaking. It's not just a set up and go type of thing. Now what I've noticed in here, I've bought some bits and bobs, replenished some stock. I bought some more Seachem Prime, brilliant stuff. That removes chlorine and chloramine, detoxifies ammonium nitrite and nitrate. I bought some more powdered, very fine potassium permanganate. So I've got 100 gram of that. I bought some sodium thiosulfate. This is dechlorination. So I'm not going to talk about that because you need to know how much to put in and things like that. So I'm not going to get into that. You have to research it. It's what I bought before in the past. So the thing is, when you buy products in its raw form, they don't come with instructions. You can buy sodium potassium permanganate, and that's probably what I should recommend, but you probably should buy it in its tested form from reliable sources that are designed for koi, but they only use raw materials, and what they do is they basically package it and then have tested it to make sure it comes from a safe source and also at safe levels for koi. But if you do a research, you know, and you want to take that risk, you can buy these products raw. Not many people like to talk about it in the koi world, but I don't mind. You can buy raw products, and as long as you know what you're doing with them, they are safe. But the advice today is buy the product in its form that tells you what to do, designed for koi. So bought this stuff. I love this stuff. TAP, no more blanket weed. I've used this for a few seasons now and it's really great stuff. I've put some in here because I noticed this were going a bit green on the walls. You can see, well, you probably can't see on the wall there, it's about an inch thick. So I've put some of that in there. This hasn't got the UV set up on it. This is my little grow on. I've put the net round it now, so I'm going to bring them fish I've just mentioned, those three, in here, get them going in here. Look at that in there, look. So all I've done is set the air on, and look, the algae has just completely disappeared. But I did put a bit of this in there as well, a couple of spoonfuls. An infusion of natural minerals, enzymes and additives, fast acting and low clouding formula. So there's enough in there now. I've treated this one, I've treated the little grow, and there's enough in there now to treat my main pond, and that'll be me for the season done. So that's them. I tested the ammonia in this pond out of interest. It was at 0.007 or something like that, so that's at a low level. And then I've got to do a test on this one, so I might get those fish down and then get on that, get the fish in there. I've got some more RO tubing coming and some valves, because I'm going to tee off here, put a valve on, tee off, go under here, come up here, and then get an RO line in to here, so I can start trickling in and trickling out on there, so that'll be done. So on that note, I'm going to go and get these fish and get them in, and that's been a 20-minute video already. Frightening. I'll put this thermometer in here to see what sort of temperature we are getting, and it's 21 degrees in there. 21. So it just shows you outside 13, 21. .1 that's saying, and then I would expect this to be similar. Saying it's 18 in this one, just shows you, don't it? Don't know why this one's clicking up more heat, but I would imagine it's because I've took this insulation off and the sun comes in behind me and hits this from here, so it's being hit with sun on this side all day, whereas this one is lower and it's painted, it's like this was like fiberglass, so it might help if that was painted black as well to absorb the heat. Shows you. So yeah, I'm going to get up to the top. This might be a longer video than normal. The temperature in here, that is saying it's over 30 degrees in here. I don't know about that. So get up to the top of the pond, get the 3 fish, get some water topped up in the little grow, and away I go. So I've netted the 3 coda that I had in here. I did have 5. I had the shower, the chiba and the goshki. I had a jingring chagoi. Unfortunately, after about 4 months, it jumped out of the pond down there and it died, gutted. And there's another one somewhere. What is it? I can't remember. So, and because these have been in the main pond, they haven't grown a tremendous amount. This one got a raised scale, so I'm going to get that down the garden. You know, the eyes come off a lot with a bit of muck on the side. I think this is a male because of the body shape, very pencil-like. This is pencil-like. If you look at this one, a bit more of a pot belly. So I think this one is a female. So it's got some abrasions you can see on its side, look. So I'm going to get them down there. I think that's a female. 2 males. So I'm going to bag those up and get them into the grow on at the bottom. See how they go. And the bigger fish in the bigger grow on down the bottom may come out into this pond for summer when this is warmer, and they might get transferred into that one to get some grow on time, and then they may stop down there all next autumn and winter as well to try and get these growing a bit. So the other fish, oh yes, the other fish is the one that is the jingering tancho goshki down there, the really nice one, and I'll show you that one, show you the difference, because that one has definitely grown, because that one's been in the grow on. So let's take a look and get these bagged up. The next time you see these, they will be in the grow on down the garden. I'm just going to put them in here, put them in there, take them down and carry them down in the water, put them straight in. I found that I don't have any problems going from cold, cooler, this is 13, to warmer. I wouldn't go warmer to colder, definitely don't do that. But this way I've never had any problems. So see you down there. So we're in the grow on. There's the fish that I've transported them in. The chiba, the goshki, and the shower, Coda Jinrin shower. I absolutely love this fish. That's one to get on, growing on a bit, because it's absolutely beautiful. It's got a lovely head spot. So I'll just float them in there for a little bit, just to get the balance a little bit, and then I'll pour a bit of water in here with them. And then oh no, they'll just naturally come out. Just leave them there for a minute. See if I can get you a look in this one. Oh, it's this one. I'm able to start breaking my videos down now. I got a bit more interest. And this one, as you can see, is with the water temperature going a little bit green. That much so, I can't see them. So anyway, the algae, you can see the algae on this wall here. I tried to show you earlier, but can you see it? Probably not. So I wanted to show you the Jingring Tancho, but anyway, I'll have to see how that one goes. I have got the UV there if I want to start using it. Green water is of no detriment to fish. It's just, as growers, don't like to see it, but fish don't mind. And if I'm honest with you, it's a grow on. It is unfortunate that I can't really show you. You can just see the silhouettes of them moving about, but the fish won't mind. If you look at the Japanese mud ponds, they are never clear, perfectly clear water like we think. People see perfectly clear water and think it's healthy, and it might not be. Japanese mud ponds, I'm not saying that water that looks greenish or dirty is healthy either, but it doesn't mean it's not healthy. So yeah, I've got no doubt that the water that's green, it will actually be doing them, because it means there's a lot of algae cells in the actual water column. Fine, very, very microscopic algae in the water column. That's algae. What's growing on the pond walls and that can grow really thick and airy is blanket weed. So that's the difference between the two. And UVs and removing the nitrates, the nutrients in the water, and reducing the light will get rid of algae, green water, but it won't get rid of blanket weed. And a UV won't get rid of blanket weed, but a UV will get rid of single cell algae that's in the water column. I'll leave them to it, and this week I'll finish on this. Like I said, this is to top up a little bit. So let me get these out of here. Hopefully I've done enough, whereas I've done enough where they won't be able to jump out the water. There's lots of snails in here, tiny snails, look, on the wall, so they'll enjoy that. So the only thing I've got to watch is I have been adding a little bit of ammonia in this pond for a few weeks to keep it topped up. Those 3 fish are in there now, so they will obviously add ammonia, so I've just got to watch now that the water doesn't become toxic to them. So I did test this the other week, and the KH is higher now, so there's, you know, and I'll test them all again in a couple of days. So hopefully, this is like 20 degrees, so hopefully they will put a bit of you know, size on now with the warmth, and I'll get them fed. So on that note, hope you've enjoyed that episode. It's a nice catch up there of the small grow on here, which is 500 litres, to the 2,000 litres, and then the main pond, which is 10,000 litres. So keep these ticking over in here, keep those ticking over in this one, and I've got the main pond, and between the 3, a hospital tank if I need it to be. This can be hospital for treatment, so if I get a fish that's really poorly or needs its treatment, you can take it out the main pond, isolate it from the other fish, or if you get a fish bought in, quarantine it in this tank. But I want to make use of it out of those periods. But I've got plenty of options now, which is absolutely great. So with this investment here, it really has opened up the koi world for me, I suppose, and the enjoyment. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Please hit the subscribe button, it's free. Please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button, and hope to see you on the next one.